Okay, you all, I am live. And let me know if you can hear me well because I do not have my AirPods. So as you all come in, give me a sound check. Give me a sound check. So I'm going to make this a quick live stream, right? I'm driving, and so, I had some thoughts, collected some thoughts. I want to talk about Kevin Samuels, and as you all come in again, give me a sound check. Let me know how the sound check is. Let me know how to sound check if you can hear me well. I do have my AC blowing too, so I want to make sure you can hear over the air condition. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of YouTubers, can you hear me? Peace to you, King. Thank you, King. And peace to all the queens and kings that's coming in. Let me know. I'm trying to talk, amplify my voice. Okay, so you all can hear me well because I forgot my sound, my AirPods. And, wow, Kevin Samuels. Let's get into this. Sounds good. Okay. Hello, Dead Game Boxing. We're going to go right into this. We're going to go right into this. But again, you all hit that like and share button. And if anytime my video or anything goes out, let me know that as well because I'm driving to a rural area. So let me know if the sound is good and if the video quality is okay. But probably won't be what you think it is, right? This probably won't be what you think it is. From what I heard, I'm not sure. There were a lot of people celebratory about his death. I'm not sure. They say a lot of people on Twitter in particular was celebrating his death. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I went on Twitter. I searched his name. I did not see a lot of celebration. I did see some memes about, if you're a 5 or a 6. But maybe, I didn't take a lot of time. Right? Thank you. Video's great. Thank you so much. So I didn't take a lot of time. And I am going to be upfront and honest and tell you all, yes, I am subscribed or subscribed to Kevin's YouTube. But I just don't have hours and hours of time listening to his relationship advice. So I can tell you it may be 2 times that I have listened to an entire live stream that he has done, and that's simply because I don't have over an hour time to hear him talk to women who, in my opinion, call in on his show, right? Whether they are paid or whether it was voluntary or involuntary, but you call in on his show relationship advice. I honestly think some of these women had to be paid because they know if they follow Kevin Samuels and they subscribe to him, they know his expectations of what he feels is a high-quality woman. So I really feel, either these women were paid or they were brave, right? Either one, paid or brave. So I never took out the time to listen to its entirety, so I'm not going to really elaborate on his entire context because I'm not qualified to do so. I've never really listened to a whole hour. I don't have that time in my schedule to listen to a whole hour of just going back and forth about with women, that's trying to get relationship advice. But I will say this. I came about to know Kevin Samuels from his virtual Cliff Notes, from his virtual snippets, right, of what I heard from his snippets. So this is my thoughts on Kevin Samuels. First of all, I offer condolences to the family. From the snippets, I'm going to make that very, very, very clear. This is from the snippets. Now, from the snippets that I've heard from Kevin Samuels, he talks about 2 things. I'm going to just break this down into 2 things. He talks about high-quality men, at least 6 to 7-figure men, and being a high-quality woman to attract these type of men in your life. Now, I think this is where most women feel some type of way, right? It's not necessarily sometimes, I think, from them taking the time to listen to Kevin Samuels is when you have an average at best man, right, who's not even in Kevin Samuels' point of topic or discussion that wants to applaud Kevin Samuels, right? So Kevin Samuels, by a number system, always make qualifications according to his advice from 1 to 10. And you will have some men that are not high income earners that love it when they hear Kevin Samuels tell a woman that she's average at best. And I'm thinking, you know what, Kevin was not even talking about you. Because one thing, I don't know if you all do know or did know about Kevin Samuels, he was also an image consultant, which means he consulted six-figure men, 7-figure income earners, maybe even billionaires, about their image, about what to wear, what type of perfume look best on them, what type of clothing, what type of sunglasses, about their apparel. And he also told men to get their income up. There were, for example, younger men that would call in on the show and complain about women and, the treatment of women. And he was like, young man, you live with your mother and you're making, barely minimum wage. Get your income up. So I think a lot of the women don't know that part of Kevin Samuels. He was just as much a consultant to men as he was women, probably more men. And that's why a lot of men, 6-figure, 7-figure income earners are singing his praises today. In his death, a lot of high-profile men, from attorneys to professional men, those were the men that Kevin was referring to when the women on his show were trying to obtain or attract, number one. So 2 things that I did like about Kevin and his legacy is that he told men to get their income up, and he also told women to get their image up. That's as best as I can explain. The sun is in my eyes, and I can't, hardly see well. But he told women to get their image up. Nothing wrong with telling a woman to keep yourself physically fit. I have not been in the gym in probably about 60 days, and I need to get back in the gym. I know that. I have no problem with my significant other saying, hey, babe, you putting on some extra weight, or your stamina is not what it needs to be in the bedroom. I need you to go, get your stamina up, queen. No, nothing wrong with that. You don't have stamina in the bedroom as a woman or a man. You need to get your fitness up. I know I need to get back in the gym. As soon as I get my braids back in, I'm going, right? So I have no problem with that. The thing is, the women that were calling in on Kevin's show, they knew his expectations. And, if you didn't like what he had to say, in my opinion, don't call in. Don't call in. Don't subscribe. Don't watch his. I did not watch hours and hours of Kevin Samuel. I did not. I just didn't have time invested in it. However, if I was at a point in my life that I wanted to be in a relationship focus, because I'm so purpose driven right now, then I definitely would subscribe to him. And I think most of the men that's praising Kevin's what some would consider insult to women, I'm like, you must didn't hear what he had to say to the men as well. He told you how to get your income up, right? He told you how to look a certain way as well. It was just not the women. He was an image consultant. He told men you need to look a certain way. You need to wear a certain fragrance, perfume as well. I love the way Kevin carried himself, very well groomed, to the point where, many women probably thought that, he said that he lived a other lifestyle, but of course at his death, He was with a woman, a nurse at that. So he was with a career woman sexually at the time of his death, right? At the time of his death. So, and it's just not about going to the gym to look good. It's about having your being at the best point that you can be health wise, being at the best state that you can be physically, mentally, and financially. Is what I think he was saying, because let me tell you, I'm in the circle of six-figure men, and I've come across sometimes seven-figure men, and it is true what he was saying. If you are a six-figure woman, a six-figure man, seven-figure man, oftentimes they're not attracted. They don't want you as a wife because of your income. Now, they don't want a broke woman as well. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to marry a broke woman. They're not going to marry a broke woman. They're not going to marry a woman that has an agenda, that does not know how to manage money. I said it that way. They don't want a woman that does not know how to manage money. They don't want a woman with a 600 credit score or 580 credit score, right? But what I am saying, that's not their first priority. They want a woman who will look good on their side, who will take care of the household and take care of him and his dreams and aspirations. So a lot of times, if you are a six-figure, seven-figure woman, you may not want a six-figure man because you have your own purpose and dreams and aspirations. And if he's not like a Russell Westbrook, and let me make this example. Russell Westbrook and Ciara, right? Let's look at those two. Will and Jada Pinkett are saying they're about to divorce. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but Denzel Washington and his wife. Usually, two people being like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they can share the stage together. They can. Beyonce did not have to put her career on the shelf in order to be with Jay-Z. She did not. She did not have to stop being Beyonce. Right? Jada did not have to stop being Jada for Will to marry her. And then you have some men that they don't, they're fine with their wife, like Denzel and Pauline. He's fine with her not being in the limelight. So I think it's to each his own. A six-figure woman, she may not even want the six-figure man that has the suit and the tie in the office, that has, that's a legal consultant, or, a high, prestige, maybe a lawyer or an attorney. She may want the six-figure man that's in construction. She may want the six-figure man that's driving the Ford Ranch pickup truck. She may want the six-figure man that has the land and the ranch and the cattle, and he's just a good old cowboy. Hey, it's always good to have you a good old cowboy if you're a woman, especially if you don't like to ride horses. Maybe you like to ride cowboys, right? You might get that on the replay. So I think it's just different strokes for different folks. But in Kevin Samuels' world, I think he was speaking for the mass majority of the men that he was in communication with, and he was in their company with, and in their circle. But you have really men that's a 5 or 6 themselves. It's like, yeah, Kevin Samuels, tell her she's a 5 or a 6, and he would tell them they're a 5 or a 6. He would tell you as a man you're a 5 or a 6. It was not a whole lot of 6 or 7 figure men that had to come to Kevin's rescue and defend and quote him on their social media because they was too busy chasing the bag. Don says, I'm going to try to read. I can't help but think it's foul play. He was strong voice for us black men. Really? You thought Kevin was a strong voice for black men? Okay. But, some people feel like he was an anti-voice against black women. But again, the women did not have to call in on the show. That was their choice. You call in, you know what you was going to be up against. You know that you was going to be looked at according to your outer appearance and not what you had inner. And I will confess, from some of the snippets that I listened to Kevin Samuel, he was absolutely right. Like, there were points in times where there were women who had a great man that were husband potential. I'm getting my degree. I'm getting my PhD. Like, why not do both? But I can tell you, ladies, that, when you want to pursue these higher degrees, these jobs, you have to usually meet, no, I won't say usually. It works best if you meet someone in your field who's on your level or above you, because you having a PhD, trying to communicate with someone with a GED, nothing wrong with a GED, because you can have a GED and be a six-figure income earner. But that may be difficult. And so I think that's where the lines were crossed, because the women were like, listen, Kevin, I'm just trying to find somebody. Now, see, a woman want a man on her intellectual level. A man want a woman on his physical level and emotional level. A woman wants a man on her that appeases her intellect. She don't want a man that she can't even have a conversation with and dream big around. And a man that will be like, let's get into this. Let me cut my hair down because my voice is cracking. A man that won't be like the Psalms 31 man. Let's get into this. I'm take my shades off. The Psalms 31 man in the Bible praised his wife. That woman was an entrepreneur. I think she had about 9 businesses. And he sat at the gate and praised her. If you are not a man that cannot praise your woman and she's a businesswoman, I think something is wrong with that. If all you want is a woman is to be your trophy piece, is to represent you, to make you look good, you may end up like a Kanye West. If that's all that matters to you, if you just want her to take care of home, and there's nothing wrong, but I think it's a point of insecurity where a man cannot praise a woman if she's in business, if she's pursuing her degrees, if she's pursuing to improve herself. If that intimidates you, and you can't be like the Psalms 31 husband who sat at the gate and praised his wife, something is wrong. And I think that's what women are crying out saying, like, why can't I have a man that's like the Psalms? See, everybody it's Mother's Day weekend. Let's get this out. It's Mother's Day weekend. Everybody want to preach on the Psalms. I'm saying Psalms, you all forgive me. Proverbs, I'm sorry. Everybody want to preach on the Proverbs 31st woman, where she deserves to be talked about. She does. If you go to church this Sunday, you might hear a sermon on her. The woman had it going on. She had multiple business, but nobody emphasizes the man. Let's talk about her husband, who was so secure in himself that he sat at the gates and praised his woman, who had multiple businesses. Most six-figure women want a man, a Proverbs 31st man. Who wants a Proverbs 31st man? Man, if you need another man to stand up and talk for you, why won't you stand up and talk for yourself? He talked for a lot. He was the voice. That's great. I get what you're saying. But you don't hear black women saying, Oprah Winfrey was a voice for us women. No, we just go out and try to be the best we can to not be Oprah, but to, have her as a role model, a successor that we look up to. We don't say, Beyonce, who earns her money, right, or another wealthy woman. We don't say she was our voice. No, we say we admire them. They don't have to be our voice. We can be our own voice. And so, if you cannot praise a woman in her own right, and again, Kevin Samuel was both a counselor to both men and women alike. He was like, men, you need to get your money up, you get your income up. Women, you need to get your image up. And I do agree with Kevin. You can't be, I think a lot of times women can be so high income women may be so focused on their bag as well that they may don't have time for the husband, especially if the husband doesn't have anything going on for himself. Or when it's time to be the second, right? When it's time that you're in an environment with your husband and he's a 6-figure or 7-figure income earner, maybe a billionaire, maybe 8-figure, and it's time for you just to mingle in the room and be seen and not heard. Yeah, I said it. To be seen and not heard. Then you need to do that. But listen, man, if you're average at best, as Kevin would tell a woman, he wasn't your voice. Kevin wasn't your voice. He was voice to the men who had their stuff together. Kevin was not your voice. If Kevin would call you and you are 5 and 6 in his eyes, when he analyzed your image and your income, he was not your voice. I'm sorry. He was not your voice. He was the voice of 6 and 7 and 8-figure income earner men who wanted a woman to be his emotional support, his cheerleader, and to coach the household. Now, I know women probably saying that's a lot. Well, women, that's not a lot because the Proverbs 31st woman, she had maid service, right? You don't have to be cooking and cleaning. That's not what I'm saying. That woman, she was so rich and wealthy, she had her businesses going on. She had maid service. But what I'm saying is a man, listen, and then I heard men, they said, that a man don't want a masculine woman. Well, let me tell you this. Women are not masculine to masculine men. Right? If you got an alpha female, you got to be an alpha male. It's just point blank. You got to be a beast in the bedroom. A beast in the bedroom if you got an alpha female and a businessman in the boardroom. Boom. I said it. You got to be a beast in the bedroom. I'm talking about the stamina of a woman in the bedroom where some of y'all men have short stamina too. And then you even try to go out there in the streets and play around. No. Kevin was not your voice. If he told a woman to get fit and work out and keep her image up, he telling the men the same thing. But this is the thing, and I know anything can happen to anybody, but according to what's been circulated or told, he had a cardiac arrest after sexual intercourse. So he might just had a bad heart, maybe the intercourse was good, and it probably invoked something going on with his heart. Sometimes we have underlying health issues that we may or may not know about, right? But that's the case. So all I'm saying, and be a man in the bedroom and a businessman in the boardroom. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. Be pleasing to that woman. Because, women do have work husbands now, right? It's 2022. And another thing that I heard one of his snippets, Kevin Samuel, say is that if you're a woman and you're not attracted to a man, don't even waste his time. Why are you going on the first date with him? Don't even date him. But I can or cannot agree with that because, again, for a woman sometimes, it is intellectual as well. Men are not as much as intellectual driven. They need a more emotional support. So, I would have liked more men to go on the show because, in my opinion, if he's speaking from the perspective of high-profile men, then we should hear from the men. Sometimes we should hear from the men. Women made the show. They called in. They gave the super chat. They built the platform. And then I think that they were so insecure that you will allow somebody to, what you kind of quote-unquote, insult you and tear down your image, then why are you supporting that platform? Again, I did not listen in on his hour-minute videos. It did not appease to me. It did not, I felt like that wasn't the advice that I needed to hear. That wasn't the consultant that I needed to go by. So I didn't set myself up for that. So if you're a woman and you're upset, then my thing is you the one made the show. It wasn't the men, let's be honest. You would have stopped calling in. There would have been no over 1 million subscribers. You made the show. And let me tell you another strong man in the Bible, not just the Proverbs 31st man, who praised his wife, who had over 9 businesses. But Jesus knew how to keep women around him. In fact, Jesus had rich and wealthy women that funded his ministry. To me, if you are a smart, intelligent man, you know how to keep 6-figure women around you. You don't drive them away. And if you're secure in yourself. Well, you say, well, Queen, she don't have to be 6-figure. Well, you know how to keep an intelligent woman around you that's not going to destroy your image or your income. Or you should. Jesus had women around him. Look at how Mary and Martha treated Jesus. Right? They anointed his feet with oil, the alabaster box. The women were the first one at the temple. You had Priscilla and Aquila. That was a married couple. But you had, I can't think of her name. Lydia, I think, the seller of purple linen, who was a deaconess to Jesus and offered her house for the ministry. See, Jesus knew how to keep business men and business women in his company. That's wisdom. I can't see right now. I'm actually driving, so I'm not really looking at the comments. I may go back and look at them, but I'm trying to keep my eyes on the road. But Jesus said some people have heart disease and don't even know they're a ticking time bomb. I agree. He was divorced because he also touched the general topics that the average man would not discuss within their circle. Okay. If you're a man and you're saying he was your voice and you're the average man, but, I thought his show was all about high-profile men. That's what I thought. How to help a woman get a high-profile man. That's what I thought. But, again, I did not listen in on the entire live stream. I was not a, faithful follower of Kevin. I subscribed to his channel. But, a lot of his live streams, like mine, are an hour long. And I'm so focused on helping people financially that I just didn't have time for that. But I do agree with some of the short clips that I have watched. He told a woman, if you got a good man right now, why are you waiting till you get your PhD to get married? And will you even have time for him and the children if you want to have children? If that's your goal, to have a family and to have children, will you have that time to pour into him? Not every high-profile 6-figure income earner woman really wants a family. But to my understanding, he was talking to the women that wanted a family and wanted a husband. And I'm going to say this, and I'm logging off. Be careful with what you say. Be careful what you say as well. Because, Kevin Samuel, I know that he, from the snippets, again, that I watched, I have seen snippets in which he told women that they're going to die alone. You know, to buy you a dog, you're going to die alone. Be careful what are your words. You know, karma is real, and the universe always creates a boomerang of what you send out, what you speak out, and according to your actions. Karma is a real thing. That's not something make-believe. That's an actual law of the universe. And when you tell somebody something, that ended up being his fate. I know you he was with a woman. No, he died in essence alone because he had just met that woman. He was not in a loving marriage or relationship. The same thing that he was telling other women would be their fate and outcome, that they would never marry and they would die not in a marriage and alone, ended up being his fate. It ended up being his outcome. He died not in a happy marriage. He died, in essence, alone with a woman he had just met, according to the news. So he didn't know her. There was not a time to build love and bond and get to know her. And to die with a woman that either was his wife or had wife potential by his side. So be careful of the words you send out. Social media, especially YouTube. When you're a YouTuber, you know, you can get trolls that come in. You can get people that say, you know, bad comments that make you get out of your distinct self at times. But Kevin had people calling in, so he knew that I can expect this type of woman because that was the build of his audience. So be careful of the words you put out there in the universe, because they will come back, and then the fate that you speak on others will determine and be your fate. If you lie to people, you're going to have people to lie to you. If you cheat on people, you're going to have people that cheat on you. If you get dishonest money, you're going to have people that steal. If you steal from people, you're going to have people that steal from you. If you wish bad and curse people with your tongue, those curses are going to reverse to you. That's all I have to say. So with that being said, I'm going to log off, and I'm going to speak positive over you all, whether you agree with what I said or not. But be blessed. I want you to continue to be blessed. But first of all, I want you to be better every day that God gives you life, because again, life, with the twinkling of an eye. Be better, be blessed, and be banking. Why? Because being broke is not in your birthright. Being broke is not a part of your birthright. So become better, be blessed, and be banking. Because being broke is not in your birthright. Thank you all for tuning in. I did appreciate the comments and the dialogue. Queen out.